The first respondent failed, neglected, or refused to conduct the presidential election in a manner consistent with the dictates of the Constitution, and inter alia, the Elections Act, Chapter 7 of the laws of Kenya. The first respondent committed irregularities and illegalities inter alia in the transmission of results, particulars and the substance of which will be given in the detailed and reasoned judgment of the court. The court was satisfied that they did, and thereby embarrassing the integrity of the entire presidential election.
Song and dance on the streets of Nairobi. Opposition supporters delighted with the Supreme Court verdict nullifying the result of last month's presidential election.
Thank you, Jesus. Yes, when injustice becomes a law, we will resist the order. And I'm telling you, God is on our side.
Wow! The declaration was unprecedented. The judgment was a landmark one, something that shook the entire foundation of the whole of Kenya, and of course Africa at large. And then the jubilations were wide. So the celebrations were really, really enticing and amazing. It showed that the people won, but of course the justice system in Africa had a glimmer of hope with that. And so prior to that particular judgment by the Supreme Court of Kenya, it wasn't to be heard or said or even to be discussed that a sitting president in Africa, the continent be referred to as the dark continent, would be removed by courts. It was, of course, with the regulator happened in the elections, President Uhuru Kenyatta was almost celebrating, and we saw a video of him later on, I will show you later, where he was grasping for breath and complaining that he was disappointed. He almost went on to cast aspersions and he sought the judges, right? Why am I bringing this? It has happened before and it can happen. We need to get abreast with situations like this, and that's why I want you to share this video. Share this video. Let's remind Nigerians that all eyes on the judiciary is only a call for something that has happened in neighboring African country. I'm not talking about the United States or Canada. Kenya, of course, Kenya, yeah, whose democracy and system of administration is totally different from ours. And of course, with the kind of rigging that happens in elections, also very similar to what happens there. So we are brothers and sisters. So whatever has also benefited them will go on to benefit us. And that's why I'm trusting, as you share this video, make your opinion count and let it be loud and clear. All eyes on the judiciary. We will have this mandate returned to the owner, and the owner, of course, is the people, not Peter Obi, not Labour Party. It's the people. The people made their choice, and their choices must be respected. That's what we're asking the judiciary to do since INEC failed in doing this job. And now, all you see several things. The similarities in the annulment of that election was very close. The IEBC, or so the Independent Electoral Body of Kenya, broke the electoral laws, failed in the transmission again and again, the transmission of results as stipulated in the electoral laws. And of course, that's what we are seeing here. The only difference between this election and the Peter, of course, the Uhuru Kenyatta of the Jubilee Party, and then the ODM had Raila Odinga. The only difference between this Tinubu, Atiku, Peter Obi election, 3-horse race quite well. And then 2, there is a prayer by the petitioners requesting that the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, who is currently the president, should be disqualified. Uhuru Kenyatta would go ahead to winning the rerun election after the Supreme Court announced that after 90 days, the electoral body should put elections together for 90 days. He still went ahead to winning the election. But this one, the Nigerians are saying disqualify this man because he doesn't even qualify to contest for the office of president for several reasons. He's lied, he has criminal record, and a couple of other things. So that's why you see that they are against that disqualification, but that would be because again and again, the instrumentality of the incumbent party and incumbent president has his toll. We have his toll on the rerun election, if that's supposed to, if that's what the court will give, right? Of course, remember that in Kenya, presidential election matters go straight to the Supreme Court. All this drama happens, tribunal, now go to, because let the matter go to Supreme Court and let the decision be made once. In short, before the swearing in, that's the beautiful thing. Before the swearing in, that is when that judgment must be given. But you see these shenanigans. You allow people get to power, and the beauty of the instrumentality of the power of powers and government at their disposal to manipulate the system. And that's, if we really want liberty, one of the things that I have advocated for is a constitutional amendment. In short, the world is throw away this constitution and let's have a new document that first balances the equation. Change this idea of religious dichotomy, the sub-regional analysis everywhere, federal character. Remove it totally from our constitution. Then begin to reshape the idea of who should contest for offices in Nigeria to councillorship. We need to stop all this rubbish, all this doubt. Saheed Okunbo was saying that he will become president one day because, of course, his elder brother has become president with nothing actually. So why will he not? Why will he not? And I said in one of my videos earlier, having Bola Ahmed Tinubu become president is lowering the standards of who should govern this country. In future, we will have unknown brand criminals from different corners walk out of prison and go and contest the president. That's it. That's it. So watch the video and share this video. You will see a lot of that, and then we are praying that the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal will not just annul or cancel this election. It will disqualify the man who is not qualified to even contest in the first place. Let this video go around as you watch this video. Let it get to people. Let's continue to hope and believe, right? At a point I thought I lost hope, but there is no reason to lose hope. If Kenya can do it, why can't Nigeria do it? Yes, we can do it. It is possible to have the illegitimate government removed and the people's choice and will established in proper context. Let's make this happen. Let's share this video. I'll see you some other time.
Uniform in step and garb. But that is as much as they had in common when delivering the verdict that now reshapes the presidential contest. The verdict was backed by 4 out of 6 judges, with a greater number in favor of NASA's petition that claimed the presidential election was rigged in favor of President Uhuru Kenyatta.
The greatness of a nation lies in its fidelity to its constitution and a strict adherence to the rule of law, and above all, the fear of God.
The judges indicted the IEBC and how it conducted the election in each of the grounds for the nullification of the election.
Election is not an event. It is a process from the beginning to the end.
The court, however, did not place blame on Kenyatta or his party. In reaching this decision, the judges had 3 things to determine.
The first respondent failed, neglected, or refused to conduct the presidential election in a manner consistent with the dictates of the Constitution and inter alia the Elections Act, Chapter 7 of the laws of Kenya. The first respondent committed irregularities and illegalities inter alia in the transmission of results, particulars and the substance of which will be given in the detailed and reasoned judgment of the court. The court was satisfied that they did, and thereby embarring the integrity of the entire presidential election.
2 judges, however, struck a different tone. Justice Njoki Ndungu holds the election was conducted in accordance with the Constitution and the law. In her view, the duty of Kenyans to delegate their sovereign power to their elected representatives is sacred and can only be upset if there is a compelling reason.
It was not proved that the voters' will during the conduct of elections was so affected by any irregularity cited so as to place this court or the country in doubt as to what the result of the election was.
Justice Jackton Ojwang, in his dissenting view, also notes that the threshold of evidence was not sufficient to nullify the election. He says in summary that much of the evidence the petitioners gave in court and which was accepted by the majority was unascertained. He also sees no merit in invalidating what was a clear expression of the Kenyan people's democratic will on the 8th of August. In his view, the IEBC conscientiously applied the law and the resulting electoral process had all the vital features of merit, as all the observers had publicly acknowledged.
For my part, I would dismiss in its entirety the petition which came up before us, as it was devoid of requisite supporting evidence.
Once more, the Supreme Court only gave its decision but reserved its reasons for nullifying the election of President Uhuru Kenyatta, citing the huge volumes of paperwork that they have to drill through to write a full judgment, and within a very short period of time. So the country has to wait another 21 days to fully understand the reasoning behind the judge's decision.
The ruling is unprecedented in the history of Kenya and Africa. Kenya's Election Commission said President Uhuru Kenyatta won enough votes to secure a second term. His rival Raila Odinga said the election was rigged and challenged the result. Announcing the verdict of 4 out of 6 judges, Kenya's Chief Justice cited irregularities committed by the Electoral Commission.
A declaration is hereby issued that the presidential election held on 8th August 2017 was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution and the applicable law, rendering the declared results invalid, null, and void.
President Uhuru Kenyatta expressed his dissatisfaction with the ruling, but said he will have to live with it.
I personally disagree with the ruling that has been made today, but I respect it as much as I disagree with it. I respect it. I disagree with it because, as I have said, millions of Kenyans queued, made their choice, and 6 people have decided that they will go against the will of the people.
His main rival Raila Odinga celebrated the verdict, calling it a triumph for Kenyans.
Now the Supreme Court of Kenya has spoken. This decision is precedent-setting. It will reverberate across Kenya, the African continent, and the rest of the world through generations to come. Never again will impunity reign in Kenya. It is now clear that no one in Kenya is above the law.
A new vote has to be held now within 60 days. The Supreme Court wants the Electoral Commission to organize the new election, but the opposition say they have no confidence in it and wants a new commission constituted.